So I promised to make a video about how to set up the tsumitate settings for the new NISA on Rakuten. And I promised this a few weeks ago when I did it for my wife. And yesterday I did it for myself. And happily, the settings seem to have got easier. So Rakuten has made some improvements to the site. And personally, I think it's a lot easier to set up now. So I'm going to show you what that looks like. Now, unfortunately, we still have to go through the mobile site in order to do this. So the way you get to that is you go to your Rakuten and you can see this, hopefully this blue banner that is available here. It says Shin NISA Taiyo, I think. And basically, it's starting the reservation, the settings for the tsumitate new NISA, and you can do that between November. So it started November 13th, and the last day you can do that is December 28th. And generally speaking, I recommend setting this up fairly soon, especially if you're planning to use a credit card. So you can use a Rakuten credit card to buy your mutual funds, and that'll get you some points on Rakuten. You can also use Rakuten's cash thing, Rakuten Cash, which will get you points as well. But for both of those, the day of the month that the payment goes through is set, I believe. So for the credit cards, that's the 8th of the month. And so in order to make that date, you might want to get it set up this month in order for that January 8th payment to be made on time, and then you don't get behind with your tsumitate. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to click on this blue link. So tsumitate yoyaku. So we're going to reserve or set up our tsumitates, right? And to do that, you have to jump to their smartphone site. And that's this red button here. So we're going to jump to the smartphone site. I'm going to make this a bit smaller so we can see it. Seems a bit counterintuitive. I'll make it smaller to see it, but we'll actually do this so you can hopefully see that properly. Actually, maybe let's make it slightly bigger. Okay, so I've actually set this up already because actually I made this video yesterday and then I realized that my mic wasn't switched on. So the video is useless. So I'm remaking the video from yesterday, which hopefully will make it a little bit smoother. But this is the end result. This is what we want to see at the end of the month. So I'm going to be doing 100,000 yen a month into the tsumitate portion of the new NISA. That's the maximum amount possible. And you can do less than this. So there's no minimum. You can do it from 100 yen a month. That's fine. I think it's worth setting this up, even if you haven't got a lot of spare money to put into it, just so you can learn how it works and get used to having it and set up an investing habit. But the maximum is 100,000 yen. That's what I've set up here. And that 100,000 yen is broken down. So the maximum you can do with Rakuten Cash is 50,000 yen. The maximum you can do with a Rakuten credit card is 50,000 yen. And then the remainder you can do using cash from your broker account, which is what I've set up here. So the key setting is here. So this is the Hikiotoshi Hoho, which is the funding method, basically. This is coming from my broker account. So I had it set up, I set it up yesterday. And so I've got 50,000 from my credit card. I have a Rakuten credit card for this purpose. And 50,000 in cash because I can't be bothered to play with Rakuten Cash. Now, if you can be bothered to do that, you can get a few more points from that, but it's not a big deal either way. You're not going to get very many points. I think it's a couple of hundred for the year. So I mean, it's worth doing, but for me, it's not worth putting the time in. I'm pretty annoyed with Rakuten because I got a Rakuten credit card solely for the purpose of buying mutual funds on Rakuten. And shortly after I got it, they changed the rules and they reduced the amounts of points you could get. So I don't really trust Rakuten with this kind of thing. That's why I haven't jumped onto the Rakuten Cash thing. So this is what it should look like. So I've got 100,000 yen every month going into my NISA tsumitate portion. Now, you can also set up these regular payments into the growth portion, the seicho portion of the NISA, and that's fine. You can do that if it's easier, or you can just buy things with a spot purchase, so a one-off purchase into the growth portion of the new NISA. Many people are planning to just spot purchase the whole 2.4 million at the beginning of the year, just get it in there and get it working. And they're going to do that by selling their taxable investments or by moving money from a NISA account that's ending into the new NISA. Right, in order to show you how this website works, I'm actually going to cancel these orders and then redo them again on camera, and hopefully that will work. So the first thing is we're going to click on that change. So changing the settings. Okay, there are a few important dates on here. So I'm going to go through them with you now. So basically, for any new orders, they're going to go through on January 1st or starting from January 1st. If you cancel an order, the current settings will be deleted. Okay, so if you cancel an order and you don't make a new one, then you won't have any tsumitates in 2024. That seems fairly obvious. Okay, so rebooking something. So using the credit cards and cash, you need to do it by December 12th, it seems. So by Monday. And that's in order to get them through in January. And then you need to do them by, if you do any orders you do after the 13th of December, which was yesterday, that'll be going through from February. So because of this, I am not actually going to cancel my credit card order because it would screw it up. But hopefully you can see how it goes anyway. For orders coming out of your broker account, you need to do it by December 28th, and that'll go through in January. No worries, because that's the easiest one for them, I guess. If you're having the money come out of a different bank, so say you having it withdrawn from your own bank automatically, again, you needed to do it by Monday in order to get the January payments coming out. And anything from yesterday would have been from February, basically. And that's for the 7th. I guess there's 2 dates if you're going to have the money come out of a different bank. So you can choose the 7th or you can choose the 24th. So for the 7th, it was that. And then for the 24th, you need to do it by Christmas, which is a Monday, I think, in order to get the January thing. So basically, you probably want to set this up quite soon in order to make sure that your tsumitate payments start in January and go through smoothly. Okay, so I'm going to click to recognize that and go on to the orders. Okay, so this is how to set up some payments. So you can use, I'd have to set up Rakuten Cash in order to use this. I've already set up a credit card. So I was using this for my tsumitate NISA this year. So it's quite easy. And let's go on to the booking. Okay, so on here, I've already got these 2 orders set up. So I've got the broker fund order set to come out on the 5th of each month. That's 50,000 yen. And I chose the reinvesting option. And this doesn't actually matter because the fund is always going to reinvest your dividends anyway. But if for some reason you have 2 orders and you choose reinvesting with one order and you choose paying out with the other order, even though it's not going to pay it out, that will count as 2 different investments and it kind of screws up your bookkeeping. So just be careful with that. And then the second one here is using the credit card. So 50,000 yen on the credit card, and the date for this is set. You can't choose the date. It comes out on the 8th of the month. For this one, I could choose the date. I chose the 5th because it was fairly early in the month, but not too early, so it's going to get screwed up by the 1st being a holiday or something. Okay, so this is where you can change the orders, which I don't really want to do because it's going to screw it up. So what we can see here is that we've got the broker order and you can choose Rakuten Cash, you can choose Rakuten Credit Card. Basically, this order screen is the same as what I did yesterday. So just looking at this and seeing what each of the menus is going to help you set up your account, even if I can't do it today on camera as I plan to. So this is the fund I've chosen, the Emax's Slim All Country Fund. I'm a big fan of this fund because while I've owned it, they've actually reduced the fees a couple of times in order to match the competition. So I'm pretty confident about this fund's management. It's a very popular fund. It's huge. It's a very large fund, very well established, and it's been the most popular fund in Japan as voted by independent blogs for a few years now. So you can't really go wrong with this. There are some alternatives that are similarly priced. There's a Rakuten fund that has a similar fee, but I'm quite a big fan of this one. Now, and once you've discovered the fund, and you have to click to have read the prospectus. So there's basically there's a bunch of PDF files, and you click, okay, I've read these. I think most people probably don't. So I've read them. Click that, and it'll come through to here to the order page. And then the first thing you're going to do is you're going to choose which account you're going to buy this in. So the 4 options are the tsumitate portion of the new NISA, the growth portion of the new NISA, your tokute tax reporting account, and your ippan ordinary account. Most people should probably avoid the IBAN account because you have to calculate and pay your own taxes. Whereas with the Tokte, your broker will do your taxes for you. And the two NISA versions, there's no taxes to pay at all. Generally speaking, there is no reason not to max out the NISA account first before investing in a Tokte account. Usual disclaimers apply to US citizens. Okay, the next section is what kind of payment you're going to do. So you have three options. You can have it come out of Rakuten Cash, you can have it come from a Rakuten credit card, or you can have it come from your broker account. And that's what is chosen here. So I've got two of these. I've got the broker account settings here. If I chose Rakuten credit card, we can see the date is set. You can choose the amount, anything between 100 and 50,000 yen, and you can choose what type of fund to buy, but these are the same and it's easier just to stick to this. Okay, make sure you always choose this one, and then you won't end up with multiple versions of the same fund in your account. Once you've got this, you go on to Tsugi. I'm going to go back to the broker account version, where you have to choose whether you want it to go every day, in which case your payment will be split up over the month. I think the way it works is they take the entire amount at the beginning and then trickle it into the fund every month. I don't think it's worth doing that. It's probably better just to have it all go in at the beginning of the month, and then you get a month's worth of growth rather than waiting. And you can choose what day of the month to do it. I chose the 5th because it's close to the beginning of the month, but it's not like the 1st or something, just in case that gets screwed up. Choose the amount, and this is between 100 and 100,000, but bear in mind that the limit for the tsumitate NISA portion of the new NISA is 100,000 yen. So if you've got 50,000 on your credit card, like I have, you can only do 50,000, the remaining 50,000 from your broker account. And again, we're going to make sure we choose this one here. This bonus setting. So this is basically, apart from the monthly payments, you can have this top-up setting here. And some people are going to be doing a minimum monthly payment of, say, 100 yen a month, and then they're going to put the rest of the 1.2 million in as a bonus payment at the beginning. And that's again to maximize time in the market. Now, personally, I can't really be bothered to do that. I find it easier just to do a monthly payment every month the same, and not have to worry about doing one-offs. But if you want to, or if you miss the January payment and you want to top it up somehow, you can do this. You can use this bonus setting to put extra money into the account and make sure you get up to that 1.2 million maximum for the tsumitate portion. But I'm going to not do this because I'm doing the full amount in regular payments. Okay, and then you go on to Tsugi, where okay, so it says I haven't changed anything. So, so for you, this is how you would set up your account. The next screen is a confirmation screen. It would show you what you've chosen, and then you'd have to type in your PIN in order to execute the setting, to set the setting up. And that would be it. So it's fairly straightforward to set up. The main thing is choosing the fund that you want to invest in, and then figuring out how much you can afford every month. Make sure you can comfortably afford that. You don't want to be missing payments because there isn't enough money in your bank account. It's not the end of the world if you can't fill the whole yearly allowance because you have that lifetime allowance. The minimum time you can max out a NISA account is 5 years at the moment. So the lifetime allowance is 5 times the maximum annual allowance, but there's no need to worry or be stressed if you can't do that. So you can fill the NISA account over 10 years or 15 years or 20 years, and that's still going to be a really good option for you. So don't worry too much about that. I hope this was useful and it gave you an idea of how to set up your tsumitate payments if you didn't understand how to do that already. And as you can see, you probably want to hurry up and do so, especially if you're going to be using a credit card or Rakuten Cash in order to invest. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.